What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This video, I wanted to do something different and something that I plan to do throughout the rest of the season, even though there's only 2 or 3 weeks left of the regular season. Doing my top 15 to 20 games that I'm most excited for for the entire week. So starting Monday all the way to next Sunday, just giving you my top 15 and sometimes 20. This week I did 15. It might be more next week. Just the games I'm most excited for and telling you why you should be excited. So if you like videos like this, just go ahead and give it a like. It means so much to the channel. Starting the list off, we have Kentucky at Oklahoma. This one's going to be Wednesday. Oklahoma's coming off a huge win over Mississippi State. They cut their SEC losing streak after 5 conference losses and finally got an SEC win. They're 4-10 in the SEC now. And I think that puts them definitely on the right side of the bubble. They were looking like they might not even make it after an insane non-conference to start the season, but they just struggled so much in the SEC, which is totally understandable because the SEC is ridiculous this year. Kentucky, they are coming off a tough loss against Alabama. They're 1-2 in their last 3 games. And what worries me so much about Kentucky is their point guard injuries. Jackson Robinson, Kirk Kriisa, Lamont Butler, who is the best one in my opinion. They are all out, and I don't think they'll be ready by Wednesday either. So Kentucky going to a tough environment like Oklahoma. Mississippi State just saw that it's a really tough place to play. So we'll see what happens. Number 14, we have another big Wednesday matchup. We have Marquette going to Georgetown. Marquette is 2-4 in their last 6 games and just look totally different than what they did to start the season. I mean, I was so high on Marquette to start the season, and mainly Cam Jones, just because I love Cam Jones. I love watching that guy play. But Stevie Mitchell, Chase Ross, they also started to bloom. But now this team just looks different, man. They really do. So they're looking to get back on track. Cam Jones is still killing it, almost 20 points a game with 6 assists. Georgetown actually just lost, or they're down big in the last few minutes to Creighton as I record this. So I think Georgetown will take another loss. They were also very hot to start the season as well in their non-conference, but they didn't play obviously the type of caliber teams that Marquette played in the non-conference. But they started off 12-2. And they haven't looked the same either in Big East play. So they look like they're going to miss the tournament in Ed Cooley's 2nd straight year there. And but a win over Marquette Wednesday would be huge in their hopes and in their confidence going into the Big East tournament, which is obviously most important to Georgetown right now. Number 13, another Wednesday night game. Man, I can't wait for Wednesday already. But even tomorrow and Tuesday have some elite matchups. Ole Miss at Auburn Wednesday night. Auburn's last 4 games of the season are against Ole Miss Wednesday, at Kentucky, at A&M, and then against Alabama to end the regular season. Talk about a 4-game stretch from hell. But if anybody's going to go 4-0 against that schedule, it's going to be Auburn. That's just how good they have been the entire season. Ole Miss is coming off back-to-back losses against Mississippi State last Saturday. No, it was during the week, I believe. And then Vanderbilt beat them this past Saturday, just yesterday, in a game that Ole Miss was down pretty much the entire game. They took a late lead, but Vanderbilt ended up closing it out in Nashville. Their last 4 isn't easy either. They have at Auburn versus Oklahoma versus Tennessee, and then at Florida. So they're looking like a 5 to 6 seed at the moment, but if they lose these final 4, which is easy to do and understandable, Auburn, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida, they could be an 8 to 9 seed. They really could be. This is the first meeting between these two, this is the second meeting between these two, and Auburn won the first game by 10. Number 12, we move on to the Mountain West Conference, one of the most fun conferences all season so far. Utah State at Boise State. It's another Wednesday night game. The first meeting between these two teams was crazy. It was a Saturday night matchup. It was in Logan, Utah, and a 4-point play by Ian Martinez was the deciding factor in this ballgame. Utah State is currently a half game behind New Mexico, who is first place in the Mountain West, so Utah State is a close second. Boise State, winners of 2 straight really tough games over number 1 New Mexico in the conference, and then Nevada by 1 last night, and that was an awesome game. Tyson Dagenhart is their guy. He's got 18 points per game, and I am so excited for this matchup on Wednesday. Number 11, kind of a homer game here. Texas at Arkansas. Huge fan of Arkansas, and that is my team, and they are coming off a big win last night against Missouri to get on the right side of the bubble. And this game, if they do win it, they will be, I think, firmly in the tournament as an 11-10 seed. And they could easily do this. They beat Texas at Texas just a few weeks ago, and that was kind of the moment where I was like, okay, this team is playing good enough to make an NCAA tournament push. And right now, it's all in their hands. The opportunity is right there. Texas is 2-5 in their last 7. Obviously, Trey Johnson is just ridiculous. He is their guy, but he's a freshman, and he can't do it all on himself. He cannot do it all. This is a huge matchup between two bubble teams, so it's going to be a good one. Number 10, Gonzaga at San Francisco. This first one was a fun game to watch. San Francisco ended up winning by 11 and really solidifying themselves in the West Coast Conference that they are a team to beat and are going to be a tough out for anybody. Gonzaga is 7-2 in their last 9, but they're coming off a game where they got handled last night against St. Mary's at Gonzaga in Spokane. Graham Ike and Ryan Nembhard are the leaders on this team, the point guard center duo. And the Dons are 22-7. San Francisco is 22-7 quietly, and they are led by Malik Thomas, who's averaging 20 points a game. And it's a battle for second place in the West Coast Conference. It's going to be a good one. Number 9, Mississippi State at Alabama. The first matchup between these two teams was phenomenal. Alabama ended up winning by 4 in a game that I really thought Mississippi State was going to pull it off, but they just couldn't do it. The Bulldogs are coming off a tough loss, like I talked about earlier, against Oklahoma in Norman yesterday afternoon. And they need this game. They really do, to have some confidence. It's a battle of two elite point guards. Mark Sears on Alabama is playing like a top 3, top 5 point guard, and Josh Hubbard, the super sophomore from Mississippi State, is not far behind him. Number 8, Texas Tech at Kansas. It's the first matchup between these two teams, and man, it should be a fun one. Now, Kansas does not have a lot of things going for them right now. They don't have a good morale, a good energy to them, good chemistry at all. The shooting has been atrocious for them as of late, but we know Kansas. We know Allen Fieldhouse. Lawrence, Kansas is going to be crazy in this ball game when Texas Tech comes to town. Texas Tech is quite the opposite right now. Tech is led by JT Toppin, who is absolutely balling right now, and they're tied for second in the conference with Arizona. Kansas did just come off a really good win over Oklahoma State yesterday by 32 points. They put up 96 on them, so I think it'll be a fun one. Number 7, Creighton at Xavier, a Big East battle. Creighton is currently second in the Big East and just got a big win over Georgetown just a few moments ago. They are back on track after losing 2 in a row. Xavier, on the other hand, they're on a 4-game win streak. Sean Miller has got them playing some really good ball. Zach Freemantle and Davion McKnight are the leaders on this team, and Creighton took the first matchup by 9 a few weeks ago. Number 6, going back to the Mountain West Conference, New Mexico at San Diego State on Tuesday night. New Mexico is 22-5 at the moment. They are coming off a tough loss against Boise State. I believe on Wednesday. I think that's when they lost to them. But Donovan Dent for New Mexico is playing like an All-American, 20 points per game and 7 assists a night. San Diego State is coming off a loss to Utah State last night. So this place is going to be rocking, and San Diego State needs it. Number 5, our first and I think only Big Ten matchup on the list, Michigan State at Maryland. This is another Wednesday night. Wednesday is just a banger slate. It's a battle of first and third here on Wednesday night. Michigan State is first in the conference currently, and Maryland, out of just left field, is third in the Big Ten. Michigan State's coming off a win at Purdue and at Michigan, arguably the 2 toughest places to play in this conference. And Maryland is also playing some of the best ball in the country. Obviously, we know Derek Queen. He's averaging 16 and 10 as a freshman center for Maryland. Gosh, and it's at Maryland. So that place, man, they are looking for a game like this. It's going to be very fun on Wednesday. Number 4, back to the SEC, Texas A&M at Florida next Saturday. Speaking of teams playing some of the best ball in the country, Florida is playing at an unreal level and are really solidifying themselves as maybe the 3rd or 4th 1 seed. They really might get a 1 seed. And it's crazy to think about. They're winners of 6 straight, including at Auburn just a few weeks ago, which seems impossible. And for every other team in the country, it is. On the other side, A&M is coming off a disappointing loss on yesterday against Tennessee in a game that they really just had to lead most of the ball game. I know they did not have the lead at halftime, but Tennessee kind of came from behind a few times. It was just a close game, back and forth all game. A&M has at Florida next Saturday and at Auburn back-to-back, even winning one of those, which this team has all the talent in the world to do, would be very impressive. Number 3, another Saturday matchup in the SEC, Alabama at Tennessee. I've already spoken about Alabama in this video. They're coming off a really big win over Kentucky yesterday. Mark Sears is playing at an all-American level right now. It's a battle between 3rd and 4th in the SEC, and Chaz Lanier for Tennessee on the other side is also as hot as can be. Had 30 points yesterday, 8 threes against Texas A&M, which we know is usually a pretty good defensive team. It's the first matchup between these two teams. So much talent on both sides. At number 2, a Big 12 matchup, and some people might think I'm crazy for having this at number 2 instead of number 1. Houston at Texas Tech, Part 2. This is a battle of 1st and 2nd. This is tomorrow night, Monday night. It's going to be crazy. It really is. So it's a battle of 1st and 2nd in the Big 12. This is a rematch of one of the most bizarre games of the year a few Saturdays ago, where Grant McCasland, the head coach, got ejected after an egregious flagrant 2 call on Chance McMillan that got him thrown out of the game. And Texas Tech rallied and ended up winning against Houston at Houston in overtime. One of the most impressive wins of the season, and it could be number 1. Texas Tech is winners of 6 straight and is the only blemish on Houston's conference record. So Houston is looking to get their revenge as well. But at number 1, back to the SEC, another Saturday matchup. This is a noon matchup. It's the first matchup between these two, and I've already spoken a lot about both of these teams. Again, the injury concerns for Kentucky at the point guard position really concern me. They really do. They scare me a lot for this team, and honestly, it could be ugly. But if it's not, and if it's kind of what I'm expecting, where the crowd just gets behind this team and Kentucky fights with Otega-Oweh and Amari Williams, I mean, it could be a fun one. Could be really a fun one. I'm excited to see who Mark Pope decides to put on Johni Broome. Even though if Johni Broome's not cooking, get it to somebody else on that Auburn squad and they'll do it. But I'm really excited about the matchup between Johni Broome and either if Mark Williams puts Amari Williams on him, even though Johni Broome probably could go right past him. On the other side, you put Otega-Oweh, who is going to be a smaller guard or a smaller forward, on Johni Broome, see what he does. I don't think he'll put Carr on him. I don't think he'll put him on him just because I don't think he can guard Johni Broome that well. But I think he'll throw 2 or 3 guys at him in 2 or 3 different zones at Auburn and Johni Broome. It'll be a really cool chess match between Mark Pope and Bruce Pearl. So yeah, guys, that is my list. Comment what you disagree with below. I know I probably said exciting and fun 30 times, 50 times in this video, but man, I love it. I love college basketball, and it's going to be an awesome, awesome week. Don't know if I've said that word this video. So yeah, just like and subscribe. The channel, it means so much, and it'll help me get even more videos out. I'm also doing a lot of college football videos. Going to try to do some NBA videos while the season starts to really heat up in the NBA. So yeah, appreciate y'all for watching.